Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the Bitcoin related stocks that are currently in play. Okay, so first up, let's take a look at MARA. Congrats everyone, huge move today, closed up 172%, closed near high of day. It was trading last time I looked at higher levels and after hours trading. It did hit the 770 range. It pulled back. It was just right around $7 the last time I checked. So yeah, so it looks like it's about $1 up right now in after hours trading. So it's still currently strong. You've got RSI all the way up here at 91. So it is at frothy levels. You've got now Fasto is at 98. So it's almost maxed. This was a super strong move. Look at the big spike on plus DI. There was a gap up open today. So notice how there's a space between high of day yesterday and low of day today, and so that's created a gap on the chart. And so now now there's something for the market makers to pull the share price back to if the chart does break down, and so keep that in mind. A gap fill is always a target when the stock is pulling back to the downside. Now to the upside, it did close above the 300-day simple moving average today. That's currently at 418, and so that's the key level to hold. You want to see the share price stay above that level. If it drops below the 300-day simple moving average, then that could signal a potential gap fill and a possible 200-day simple moving average test. It made the big move today that we are looking for, staying above the 200-day simple moving average. If you caught last night's video, that was the key level to hold, this red line, and it did stay above it. It gapped well above that level, and then it ran higher. The close today was pushing hard. The EMA 4 is way down here at 354, and yeah, you can see the candle is currently well above the upper Bollinger Band, which is down here at 369. So if the candles do end up working back into the bands at some point, yeah, keep in mind about that 300-day simple moving average. You look here at the big volume spike, so there was a giant volume behind the move, and you have MACD on both time frames. Look how vertical it's getting. It's getting super steep. So keep in mind there is a conference call after the market closes on Monday. So yeah, so just it's always a risk to hold a penny stock into a conference call. So keep that in mind. So now if we take a look at the weekly chart, you can see the weekly chart. We were looking for it to break above 50, and now both indicators are at overbought levels. It's above 70 on RSI and above 80 on Fasto. So now it's in the power zone. It made this really strong move this week above the 50-week moving average. That's this green line at 304. That is the key level to hold if the share price does pull back. It's currently hitting the key level to break, which is the gold line. That's the 100-week moving average at 615, and so 615 is the magic number. Right now it's currently trading above that level in after hours trading. You want to see it stay above that level on Monday. If the share price drops below that level, that's going to signal that it's a big resistance zone, and that's the lock-in gains level, because you have the upper Bollinger Band is way down here at 365, and you have EMA 4 at 322, and you have the 50-week simple moving average at 304. So if it fails to break the 100-week moving average, there's a good chance that it works its way back and it tests this 50-week moving average support level. So if it gets above that, it can stay above 6, that 615 level, then it could possibly run up here to the 200-week moving average. That's the next target at $12. If the share price can stay above the 100-week moving average and keep the uptrend going. So yeah, so there's a big volume behind the move. We'll see if they can turn this into a multi-week run. It's all about that conference call and how that goes through, and whether or not some kind of bad news comes out in the conference call. If it works out great and the market reacts positively to it, then the share price could keep heading higher. But many times with the penny stocks, the conference call is where some sort of bad news comes out. So just throwing that out there. It's been a heck of a run. You don't want to give back the gains. So yeah, so here's BTCS. The stock, we were telling everybody about it. Keep an eye on it. It's setting up. It's getting ready. It's gonna pop at some point here. It's getting ready to go. And then today it was the day. It closed up 46%. So congrats everyone. You have RSI now at 57. So it's back in the bull zone. It's between 50 and 70. As you can see back here, once it gets above 50, it can really get moving. That's when this last multi-week uptrend happened. And so this is signaling the possible start of a new uptrend if it can stay above 50. You have RSI or Fasto back above 80. It did max out here, signaling temporarily overbought. But if you look down here at ADX, check out how plus DI is just starting to spike. You want to see the black line cross the red line to the upside. If you look back here at the MARA chart, you can see how it's gone parabolic. This is what we mean by parabolic, when it spikes up like that. So this is signaling more like it's getting closer to the top of the run as opposed to just starting out. And then you see a chart like this with ADX, and it's just starting. You can see on the last run it shot way up here. So it could pull back, but this could also be the start of a new run. It all depends on whether or not BTCS can turn key levels into support. As you see here, it formed a double bottom. It came down. There was a gap that was created right here between these two candles, this October 11th high and October 12th low. And the share price came back, and we were looking for a gap fill, and that did happen on this candle. And so we were looking for a potential bounce off that 200, 300-day simple moving average support zone. It actually dropped below, and that created the next target, which was the double bottom here level, which was the September low, and it did hit that level, and it held like a champ. And so this was signaling this was the load zone down here around 8 cents, a little above 8. If you could get 8, that was a great entry. And so what we were looking for is a break above the middle Bollinger Band and the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. They're all here between 10 and 11, and it broke above those levels intraday. And then the next big level was the 50 and 100-day simple moving averages. They were at 12 cents, and it closed above those levels as well. So this was a monster move. It closed above all the moving averages. If you notice, they're all converged here. If you look over here on the left, you can see the moving averages were all between 10 cents and they were all between 10 cents and 12 cents. And so now, now they've all converged there, and so the break above is signaling more upside potential. So what you want to see now is the share price staying above the let's get this off this blue thing here. You want to see the share price stay above this 12 level. So above 12 is signaling more upside potential. If it drops below 12, that could signal more consolidation. The candles have been below the middle Bollinger Band since back here in October when they closed below, and so it needs to stay above that level to get an uptrend going. If you could see back here in July when the close was above the middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line here, that's when the big uptrend happened, and so that possibly could happen here again. It all depends on whether or not the candles can stay above these key moving averages. The next key level to break is up here near 18 cents, the closing price up here in October, the high close. If it can get above the 18, then we could be talking about a run back up here into the 40s, which was the high close from back here in August. So the big volume spike is promising. Notice that there are no wicks on today's candle. There's no upper wick or lower wick. This is a full white Maribozu candle, so that means there's no lower or upper wicks. The low of day was the first trade of day, and the high of day was the last trade of the day. So that means that's maximum bullishness. That means the bulls were in control from the first trade to the last trade of the day. Okay, so let's look at the 15-minute chart here, and you can see the breakout. We'll just look at this real quick, and so you can see how it was setting up. It spiked on the 20th when it pulled back, and that was the key level to break. This was really similar to the MARA chart, and so it came back down below, and it hit this. Notice how once again it hit the 200 and 300 simple moving averages. It held that zone, and then finally when it broke above here on the first candle of the day, it was trading now above all the moving averages and back in play. And notice how the candle stayed above EMA4 the entire day. There hasn't been a close below EMA4 the entire trading day. So it's maximum bullishness. Look at the big volume just spiking into it, and we are putting out alerts, to load down here. We put out a lot of alerts, so everybody got the heads up. So congrats, everyone following the charts in the TA, and yeah, check out the GAHC chart. So this daily chart here shows RSI at 64. This is another one that we are putting out alerts saying, keep an eye on it. It's getting ready to go. And so it finally popped today, up 23%. It heated up on Wednesday and had that close above resistance. You have RSI now at or Fasto up there at 96. So it just signals it's up here in the power zone. Can it push higher? Can it get an uptrend going? Check out how plus DI is starting to spike. It hasn't gone super parabolic yet, but it's starting to separate. You have the black line getting ready to cross the red line of the upside, ADX getting ready to cross minus DI. That would be a signal the bulls are taking control. So there was a nice development today. The close on Wednesday above the middle Bollinger Band and the 200-day simple moving average signaled more upside potential. And then we needed to see a close above the gold line that's currently at 0.019, and that did happen today. So that was an excellent move. That's what we were looking for. And so yeah, so the chart is signaling more upside potential. Now the thing to break is this descending resistance line. That will be a huge level to break. And then heading up, there's some key horizontal resistance levels that we should keep an eye on. So it closed above also the October high close. So that was very bullish. If it can get running up here, this 375 is going to be a big level. So if it can break this descending resistance line, then it could shoot up here to 375, and then the ultimate high close is all the way up here at 55. So yeah, so keep an eye on it. This could really get moving. It has this symmetrical triangle pattern. Notice the descending resistance and ascending support, and so a break above that trend line is going to be a big signal that it wants to head higher. Yeah, this was another one that we timed. We talked about it in the last video. The bounce off of this 300-day simple moving average, the blue line. It bounced off that, and then it's had this uptrend that started, and it's been holding. Support has been holding, and now it's breaking out higher on volume. Notice the volume spike here, and check out how MACD has just crossed over on both time frames, and how there was just a PSAR bull flip on Wednesday. These are all signals that the chart is just starting to heat up, the beginning of the run. If you look at the 15-minute chart, this is the one that we showed on for Wednesday, and this was the close here above resistance. So when the candle here at 315 closed above the closing price back here on the 20th, which is the high close resistance level to break, that signaled more upside. And notice how when the candles came back and tested that level, it held, and they pushed really hard into the close with big volume. We did notice big volume spikes on these Bitcoin plays into the close, so it looked like there was some heavy loading. And yeah, so here are 3 of the stocks that are in play. I'm going to post, create another chart with 3 more that were really hot today as well. So congrats to everybody that's catching these Bitcoin stocks. And yeah, come check us out in our chat. I'll post a link below the video on the YouTube channel. Okay, thank you.